When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. Oh, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. And darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me. If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, or the mountain should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, I won't cry, oh, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. And darling, darling, stand by me, oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now, stand by me, stand by me. Oh, 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 stand by me, and darling, darling, stand by me, oh, stand by me, oh yeah, stand by me.
I don't know. I forgot. Welcome to November Project, the show, I believe, is the line. Episode 11, kicked it off on fire. Nice job to our musical guest number 1. Musical guest number 2 better bring it because this was fire.
They have a hard act to follow, and I ain't talking about the Boston Leaders.
Seriously.
Obviously, we start every show by checking in with Laura. Laura, how are you?
I'm well.
That is the co-leader of November Project Dallas and one of our favorite people on earth, right?
Yeah.
No, we don't play favorites, but he's our.
That's safe to say.
Sure, he's our favorite of all people.
He's the best one.
We don't rank him, but he's number 1. Psyche check. How's everyone feeling today? Me? I'm great. We have both co-leaders of NPE Boston because tomorrow is our biggest day of all time, apparently.
Biggest virtual day for sure.
Yeah, I mean, well, we'll tell the story once they're on, but tomorrow is the Best of Sunrise 6K on Strava, which is an online tracking platform. So it'll be a challenge to move 6,000 meters, 6K in the morning at sunrise in cities around the world. It's a free event where the creativity and the contest part of it is in the description of what it is. And so if you're watching NP the show right now and you're thinking, I'm already signed up, I'm a super fan, I love NP. It's your last few hours to share it out, to recruit other people to join NP, because really you can do it from anywhere.
5-star review.
We should never sing again after Tywon. No more singing.
I don't think what I just did counts as singing.
It's a jingle.
The 5-star review today goes out to self-plug.
What is this?
Wisconsin Notes.
Oh.
Okay, it's not for Wisconsin Notes. It's for my guest that will be on the show Friday.
Hmm.
He is a co-leader of NP Philadelphia. His name is Vinny Carano. And Vinny's got a really good story. I don't know. It has nothing to do with running. It's just kind of about who he is, where he came from, his family life, his military life, then now what he's doing with the nonprofit that he runs. Still helps run. So tune in, Wisconsin Notes. It's on iTunes and Spotify.
Wherever you get your podcasts. I have a question about Wisconsin Notes. You took a little bit of a hiatus or a break to your diehard followers. Can you tell us a little bit more? What's coming up?
Okay, well, so I took a year and a half off. The exact amount of time that my son has been alive. Turns out you lose your hobbies when you have a child. So Wisconsin Notes is a hobby, but it's a really fun one. And coming up, I actually am not quite sure because I had all of these interviews planned, actually one with Tywon because I had a trip to Dallas on the calendar. So now I'm actually not quite sure because it's going to be all on the telephone. So if you have requests of people you think I should interview or talk to, I don't really interview, but I talk to people, then please reach out and let me know.
I feel like you hold yourself to a very high standard of sound quality.
I would agree to that.
You remind me a little bit of Ryan and Dylan of Deucer when they send us like this most beautiful video and they're like, I'm sorry, it's just not edited for the sound. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I would put this up right away.
I mean, I wouldn't say that my sound quality is fantastic, but I don't love listening to podcasts that are done over the phone. But I think it's much more about the experience. So like me sitting across the table from someone and the banter that happens is so different from on the phone. So I'm a little nervous about that. That's why I also like calling people that I've never met before. I don't think that the conversation will come out as natural. So
let's also
I'm just going to interview my friends.
As long as we're plugging stuff.
You already alluded that we're having 2 guests from November Project Boston. Do they need introductions or should we just dive right into it?
I think we'll do it anyway. Emily Saul and Chris Capozzi, they've been both leading for a combined 112 years.
Probably. Emily Saul has been leading November Project Boston longer than you and I have combined.
What? Are they getting better? Is it like fine wine where they're getting better? Well, I will say, I spoke to Eugene from NPSD yesterday, and for those leaders out there, from Mel in Vancouver, for the Edmonton Cats, the folks who have been at it for a long, long time, this is a cool, interesting curveball. It's a set of restrictions and parameters, and it's interesting. It's different, And so I'm not saying COVID-19 era is better for workouts. But it's so wildly different. It makes longtime leaders, all leaders, but longtime leaders have to shift in a way that must feel pretty new again. We gave your introduction already, and now it's time for the world to learn. Emily Saul, Chris Capozzi.
Welcome.
Big day. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's the eve of a big day.
How did this morning go? I know you were featured on the NP Buffalo platform. Saul, how'd that go?
I think it was a lot of fun, and so I think that was a success. My high kicks, I don't know if they got high enough, but it was pretty hyped.
So Yogi Steve at November Project Buffalo hosts a bounce every 7:15 Eastern time every single day, and he invited Emily Saul to join the physical part. And Capozzi, what did you do? You closed it out with some rhythm.
I did the auditory part. Yeah, I was like the DJ music background.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're just gonna jump right into it. So the reason
I've been banned from this show in the past by name banned. I'm too thoughtful.
This is not Wisconsin Notes.
Oh,
This is not Wisconsin Notes. We're open to thoughtfulness here.
Wisconsin Notes.
Like quick though, right? We only have like a set amount of time.
Wisconsin Notes doesn't want your thoughtfulness, but this was a place. And actually, that's a good reason for the first fucking question. Tomorrow is the best of Sunrise 6K, and I would like to ask one of the most passionate people that I've ever met, Emily Saul, because we've done, I think, an okay job of explaining what it is. Why the heck does the world or our community or all these cities combined? Why is this important?
Why is it important? The bottom line is that we are physically very separated. And November Project, we've been really proud of having so many different communities in 52 cities around the world. And this is actually an opportunity to leverage the situation and say, great, we're super separated. So let's do one thing that unites everybody. Let's bring everyone all together. And I think there's nothing more powerful in feeling individually like you're a part of something bigger than yourself, to do something with people who are far away from you, but at the same time sort of unified by the moment and the event. So it really is about creating a bigger sense of community, even than we've experienced so far in the movement of November Project.
Compose, you've been a member and then for years and a leader for freaking ever. But tomorrow you're just participating. You're registered. You're doing it. Composing. So do you have any creative ideas on how you're going to run your 6K that you can share?
Yeah, of course I do. Of course I do. I'm not very. Yeah, you guys can steal. First of all, I'm going to try to attempt it going backwards the entire way. 6 all backwards.
Okay.
I want to add on levels of like, so if that fails, if like I get it like through like 2 laps and I can't do anything, I have a backup plan. So I'm going to like potentially be dribbling a basketball as well. So we'll see how it works. So I'm going to be going backwards dribbling a basketball for a 6K.
You're doing props. I would recommend that you find a straight line, because if you try to do circles, that's kind of sketchy. So just straight line, turn around, straight line, turn around.
Yeah, maybe I'll just do it like one leg of the track.
Saul, can you share yours? And then Laura, I'm going to ask you, and it's okay if you want to keep the cards close to your chest, but Saul, do you have any things you could share about your plan?
Well, I have thought about inside options just as a creative way to express that. So I did try out the running around the kitchen island, and I calculated time. It's going to take me like 4 hours to do that. So I am going to do, I'm going to do my sunrise 6K on the beach sand. And I've committed to a line on the beach. I don't know where the tide is going to be. So since I will be able to be at a beach, I'm just going to run it. It might be in water.
You run with the tide all the way up? You just follow the tide?
I could.
You're just on, yeah.
Yep.
Run with the tide. Laura, can you share yours or not? You don't have to.
Yeah, so my plan, so the sunrise tomorrow is at 5:37. So I'm going to get in the kayak at like 5:10 and kayak to this island called Strong Island. And there is like a half-mile trail from one end to the other. So I'm going to do a lot of this. I really did want to race it, but it's like quicksand over there. So I think I'm just going to be, and there's like wild pigs, and I'm just straight up going to be terrified. And like every noise I hear, I'm going to just jump. And so that's going to be my 6K, and then I'm going to kayak home. And I am going to be the guest leader on NP Buffalo's hiking tomorrow. I got a busy morning. I have a really busy morning.
Yeah. All right, we might as well cover the bases. Boats, what do you got in Vermont? What are you doing? Can you share?
I'll try to find a flat spot and go fast. Try to go fast. I haven't gotten fast. Well, I have not been running fast for time since MP Summit last year in Vegas, and so I would like to try to go faster.
I think all that skiing and the winter mountain stuff you've been doing, and no jokes, in case you guys don't know up on point shit. I think you're fit.
I know I'm fit. I just don't know if I'm fast, but we'll see.
You're not that fit. Whoa, confidence there.
What props you with?
So I talked to Kaposi earlier this week, and he brought up the basketball thing. With my little boy the other day, we found like a really nice full-size soccer ball in the woods. And I've always liked soccer, and I've always been bad at it. So I think now's the time and then it's juggle, or what's it called? I guess it's dribbling. That's what you do with the soccer ball. So I'll dribble it for, I think, 6K. And I'm really excited to have a morning meeting, an accountability buddy, Jesse Zappo from Adidas Runners tomorrow. So I'm starting with Jesse with a soccer ball, in Uptown. This is going to be a disaster. Okay, so Saul, you explained the why. There's a lot of creativity around this. The design that went out for this thing was like, I kind of cringed because it was so funny and so current and so COVID heavy. Kaposi, hats off to you for designing that thing. It was insane. My mom reached out and said it was beautiful. She used the word beautiful.
Wow.
Which I don't agree with. It's not beautiful. It's cool.
Yeah.
Talk about some inspiration behind that, because you are a guy who just like, you kind of are this creativity shark. You have to keep moving forward. So there's a lot in that thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was like, for me, a time capsule of this moment. Like, if we were to use that same image a year from now, it would only bring us back to this. I think that was an important, trying to like capture like what is like really important. There's like toilet paper around there and face masks and stuff like that. But I mean, the inspiration came from like one of those like old tattoo parlor, like you walk in there and here's your like array of different tattoos you can get. So like that was the sort of like starting point and the jumping off point. And then it was just like, okay, like what tattoos would people want to get right now? And I like the toilet paper is like going to be the wings across my, if I do this backwards, like the toilet paper, the wings are my tattoo.
What are you picking for your leg tattoo then?
I'm gonna get the Zoom meeting logo. I don't know if you saw that. Plus, Kaposi, you're a man of the brands. Like, he slipped in a Strava logo that fits right in the M of November Project, and there's like a pretty good sized Brooks shoe off on the side. I mean, like, you covered all the bases. Okay, well, that's pretty much the duration of the show.
I would actually just like to add one thing when we're talking about the design. We are not going to print these into buffs
or shirts or anything.
To November Project World, we're not making these into buffs. We're not printing on shirts. Stop asking.
Yeah, but why?
Are we going to do face masks?
That's the shutdown.
Another buff.
Yeah, every one of the shows we do a 5-star review, and then we call it the daily shutdown. So Bojan shuts down one thing every show, and that was I will say, if you do want to have it printed on your body, reach out to Bosco Lane. He's a tattoo artist. Any last parting wishes or good lucks, Saul?
No, I think people could make their own buff. Take a white T-shirt, cut the sleeve off, that's the buff. Take a Sharpie, copy it, and stick it on your head. Buff.
Yeah, I like that. That's good.
Now no longer allowed on the show either.
That was it. She was here and she was gone. Kaposi, any parting wishes and good lucks or anything you want to say to this massive audience?
No, I just can't wait to see you on the other side of the sunrise.
Woo! Woo! Ooh!
Right?
Damn, coming out of Boston.
All right. No predictions about who's going to have the best story of the three of you. Who's going to have the best story?
So I'm not going to put my story in because I don't want to overwhelm people that will be reading through those stories, including myself. There's 14,000 people that are already signed up. 15,000. There you go. So I don't think we need to add additional story from me or anybody else. So
I'll be entering my story in hopes of winning those Brooks shoes.
Me too. And to level out Bojan's, I'm going to be entering 2 stories.
Just to move things along, so we have our second musical guest, and then we're going to turn things off. Would you like to participate in our musical guest performance?
Okay, everybody mute. Yeah. Everyone mute.
All right, everybody unmute. It's always great to see you. This has been November Project, the show, episode 11.